Good morning, my stamping friends. It's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. And welcome to my Mystery Monday video today for Monday, November the 24th. Oh my goodness, do you realize in 1 week we are going to be in December? Oh my, the Christmas crunch is getting closer. How many of you have done your Christmas shopping? I would like you to leave a comment if you have. I have not even started. So, yeah, that's something I'm going to have to start thinking about pretty quick here. Although, you know, as we get a little bit older and our kids get a bit older, sometimes that isn't quite as much shopping as it was before. Although if you have grandchildren, that might be a different story. So thank you for joining in today. Today we are going to focus on this Light and Wonder bundle. I used this at my Facebook Live this past Friday, if you had a chance to see it. If not, it is on my Facebook page, and I believe I've also posted it to YouTube. So if you want to check it out, you can certainly do that. But I used this Light and Wonder, and I wanted to use it again because there are just so many beautiful projects that people have created and things you can do with this particular suite. Now, it is in our mini. Let me just see if I can find it here for you. Page 37 of our current mini. It's right here. Lights of Aurora is the name of the suite, page 36 and 37. So here are some fantastic samples that people have done. Some of them on the long cards, right? The long, what are they, landscape cards? So you get a stamp set. These are the beautiful dies, so you can do all kinds of things with those. It has some embellishments, some ribbon, and this amazing, amazing paper, which I'm going to show you. So that is a bundle, and of course you can purchase all of those individually. So this is the stamp set, so you can puzzle this together, right? Wishing you a year of light, embrace the wonder. You are a wonder, I guess. May your day be filled with magic. Like all kinds of different greetings you can put together. And these are a closer look at the dies. Now, I don't have a large enough magnet sheet to put all of these on. There's a couple of extra pieces, but I'm going to show you how we're going to use some of these pieces in our project today. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside. And we will go to that. Now this paper, Lights of Aurora, oh my goodness. So it's a 6x6 package and you get 48 sheets like normal, but the difference is you get 6 patterns, but 8 of each pattern. So that kind of, stretches a little bit further and you have a lot more options and can, do a few more of the same type of card if you like. So on the back we have some just neutral sort of palettes, which are also wonderful. So this is one of them. Look at this. Okay, I'm just, hopefully you can see that there. That's the first pattern. And this one has more of a berry burst on the back. There are so many colors in this paper. I don't know if I can even tell you what they are. Let me see. Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Basic Black, Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Lost Lagoon, Petunia Pop, Pool Party, and Very Vanilla. Like, is that not amazing? Because our Northern Lights are gorgeous, right? When we were in Las Vegas for Backstage just the other week, I had seen some Facebook posts and things from family back home, and just as we were gone, there were some beautiful auroras visible to the naked eye. And sometimes people, I found that if they take a photo of them, you almost see them better on the photo than sometimes with the naked eye. I don't know why that is, but we missed some of those beautiful auroras. But our season is just sort of starting, so hopefully we will still see a lot of them. I've heard that they are a little more prevalent this year, so we'll see. So here's the black. So great for embossing white on or whatever. Here's another pattern of those lights. And then we have some more of that gorgeous grape happening. And this pattern here. And then we have some of the Azure Afternoon. If you wanted to do like a sky, it doesn't have to be just Northern Lights cards. You could, you know, incorporate the trees and all those things that are in our dies and make a nice mountain scene or something as well, right? So you have lots of options. And then the last, I believe this is more of a Lost Lagoon. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, sneeze there. And then this gorgeous one. So this has, yeah, the Lost Lagoon. And this, is that not amazing? So you could even flip them, do different, you know, ways of showcasing these beautiful, beautiful patterns. Okay, so let's get today's project. And I will, if I remember, show you some other samples at the end. Okay, so we are going to attempt to do this one. I saw this on Pinterest. No, I'm sorry, I forgot who I saw this from. And I did switch it up a teeny bit, but I'll have to go back and find out who posted this particular type of project, because I really loved these Northern Lights here and how they're over the mountains. And I had not used these mountain dies before, so, or this lake. So for me, it's sort of a scenic, you know, nighttime or view with the ice on the lake or the snow on the lake with the trees and the mountains in the back and these gorgeous auroras just, you know, cascading over the whole scene. I think this is just so beautiful. Okay, so to start this, we are going to start with a piece of basic black. You're going to have a lot of black cardstock you're going to need on hand for these particular cards, unless you know, decide not to do an evening scene, but that's okay, whatever you have. Okay, and then we have a piece of that beautiful Lights of Aurora designer paper, and I will post all these measurements for you, but this one, I believe I cut at 5 1/4 by 2. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for now because we're going to assemble all of this later. And then we're going to start with our snow and our trees. Okay, so we're going to kind of puzzle pieces together and then assemble at the end. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to bring out my silicone mat. Okay, so for the lake, the water, I used this die here. So this particular piece, I believe, was cut at 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then the die was sort of placed towards the top edge. And when it came out like this. Okay. And then for the trees, I used this large tree image. These are the smaller trees. You have a die that has really large trees as well, but I didn't want to use that for this particular card, but they are there, and you can use just half of the trees. You don't have to use the whole die. Same with here, you could just use half. You know, you could just puzzle things together like in all different ways. So for this, I used a piece of basic black, and these were cut at 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, the black cardstock. And then I just laid this on top. Now, it's not going to take up the whole die, this paper, so you can certainly reposition it for whatever trees you want to cut out. Okay, so I just sort of went with it like this, just along the edge. Okay, and when it came out like this. Now I know that's a little tough to see on there. How about that? Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to flip this over, and well, this is how we want it to look. We want the white to go on top of the black. Okay, so you have enough of that dye that this is still black underneath. All right, so I'm going to just flip this over, and what I want to do, let me just see, I want this little white edge here in the center to kind of just be above here. Okay, and I want my edges to line up, and so I'm just going to move it up and just take a look, and that's kind of how I think it's going to turn out. So almost here, just by covering that center, it looks like you've cut out two different, or you know, you've split the die and cut out two different sets of trees, but actually it's just the one. Okay, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of liquid glue just on this top portion here. I hope you can see this, just on the top, like so. And then I'm gonna flip this around and I'm going to, oops, shoot, did I put it on the wrong side? No, I did not. Okay, we're gonna do it this way. This took me a little while to figure out how these all went together, but when I did, it was beauteous. Okay, so we'll put it about like that. I'm just going to take a look on the back if it's fairly straight, okay? Because you want this to be fairly straight when it sits on your card base. Okay, so I think that's good, and it covers up the trees like so. All right. So now what we want to have in the back is our mountain and the mountain snow. So I know this doesn't really look like a mountain. I was kind of puzzled at first too, but when it's put together, it is amazing. Okay, so for that, you're going to use this die here. Okay, so again, it's about 6 inches wide. Now, what I found with this piece, when I tried cutting it just at the 5 1/4, it just wasn't quite lining up on, this is actually the snow, not the mountains, okay? Because I wanted it, you know, to lay a certain way. And sometimes when I cut it, it just was not lining up. So what I decided to do was cut this at 6 inches across, and then we're just going to trim it after we've lined it up like we want. Okay, so this is what you're going to use. This is Pool Party. And you're just going to line that up. This is measured at 5 1/4 by 6, and then you're going to trim the edges after. And then for our mountain, it is, or our snow, I guess, it is this piece. This one I did cut at 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, and so you're just going to line it up along the top like that of your piece. This part will come away, and this is the part that you're going to use. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of maybe some glue or something on the back of this. Just here at the top, we're just going to sort of tack this down right now. Later on, when we put everything down solid, we will we'll put, you know, make sure it stays down really good. But for now, I just want to tack this down, and I just want to position it here. So I'm just going to put this like so, and I want some of this snow to, okay, I've got a bit of glue, but that will dry. I just want a little bit of that snow to show. Like, I think that's not too bad. Okay, so I do have a little bit of glue there, but that will dry. Okay, so then this piece, okay, so I've got my 5 1/4 underneath. I can probably, oh, this isn't quite, you see, because the way I line it up, it is going to be crooked on the back, but no one is going to see that from the front. Okay, so I'm going to just, now I have to make sure that this is not crooked. So this is going to go on the back kind of like this, right? So the mountains are just kind of in the background there, like so. Okay, so this, as long as this Pool Party piece is straight, I think we will be okay. So you want that Pool Party just below the snow level, like so. You can move it up a teeny bit, and it's going to sort of sit on it like this, right? Okay, so maybe we will try to tack this down. Maybe I will just put a little bit of adhesive along. Okay, we want it along. This is what's going to be tacked down. So I'm just going to put a little bit here on the bottom for now. Okay, and then we are going to position this where we want it. There's probably an easier way to do this, guys, but this is what worked for me. Okay, so I have those mountains back there, and I think you can see them with the snow. I just want them to sort of look like they're in the distance, but you can see some of these peaks there. Let me just see if I can move this up. Oh, it looks like it's pretty much adhered. Okay, so like this. All right, I just want to wipe my fingers because I have glue all over them. Okay, so now we are going to trim these edges here. So where are my scissors? I did have my good, well, I'll just use some other ones. So we are just going to snip this edge off here and snip it off here. Okay, so something like that. This can actually go a little bit. Yeah, so it's all a matter of fiddling a little bit, but it does all kind of line up in the end. Okay, so now I think we're probably ready to put this all together. So let me bring back our base and our designer paper. So you can decide, do you want the blue on that side? Do you want the more purples and pinks? Let's try flipping it this time for something different. And we're going to put this at the top, leaving a teeny bit of a border up here, because this is 5 1/4 by 2, I believe. And then we're going to put adhesive on the back of this. And like I said, no one is going to see. And I think the only reason it's crooked is the way that I lined it up. So you may have a different way of wanting to use it or line it up. Okay, so hopefully this will be fairly straight on here. So I'm going to leave a teeny bit of a border, make sure I'm lined up with that designer paper on the sides, and press this down. And there you go. Look at that. Ta-da! Okay, so here my mountain was a little more centered over. So like I say, it all depends on your placement, right? You might want to cut this white snow layer at the 6-inch mark too, and then you have a little more wiggle room when you want to layer the pool party on top of it. But I'm okay with this too. Okay, so for our greeting, I could have stamped something from this stamp set. You know, if you stamped it in our tuxedo black, that would be awesome, or embossed it in black, that would be nice. But I wanted to bring out these Greetings for You Mix and Match ephemera. Now I have actually 2 packs in here. I had a Christmas class on Saturday, and I had the girls choose some greetings from here for one of our projects, and I think they thought these were pretty cool because your stamping is done. Now they are all gold on white, but there are so many different greetings in here, and they are peel and stick. So you can choose to peel this off the backer and just stick it flat on your card, or if you wanted to pop it, just put some dimensionals on there without removing the backing, and then you can do that too. So we have like 'Tis the Season, we have Joy, all kinds of different ones. Happy Christmas, Merry and Bright, 'Tis the Season, and different designs of some of these. Like 'Tis the Season, you've got a couple of different ways that they, you know, showcase it. So you have lots of choices, and the joy is lovely, merry and bright, from our house to yours. If you're giving your neighbors a little gift or somebody, some friends, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. So tons and tons that you can choose from. And I believe it comes in a package of 6, so you get 2 sheets of each different design. Okay, so you have lots of choices. So for ours, I chose Merry and Bright, and I'm going to put this just on top of a piece of black mat because I wanted it to stand out. Now see, I did put adhesive and I didn't have to do that. I could have just, oh my gosh, I could have just peeled it off. See, it's just automatic what we do. Okay, so let's just put this here, sort of centered. And then I think this was measured at 2.5 by 1/4 inch or so. And then I'm just going to flag my ends here. I know it's hard to see with the black, but here, let me just flag them and then I'll show you what they look like after. Just cut into the center and then cut your ends. Okay, so it'll be something like this. This one is a little bit bigger. This one, not so much, but it still works. And I'm just going to lay that down flat because I want these auroras to sort of be the focal point of this card. Now you could put it in the center. You could put it to the right, to the left. I think I'll just put it in the center too this time and just switch it up. And there you go. 2 of the different Light and Wonder cards with that beautiful Lights of Aurora designer paper. Is that just not something else? Ah, just great. Okay, so these other samples I had, this was one I did at a class from my friend Tamara and Tracy. Oops, I got some extra pieces in here. This is, you know, a very simple way that you can use. Let me just get rid of this. A simple way to use that beautiful designer paper and the dies. So here they just cut part of the dies, right? Those small trees, and you have those beautiful auroras as your focus and just a little bit of that ribbon. Now you could add a greeting here for sure at the bottom. Okay, so there's that one. And these 2 I did at my live on Friday. So wishing you a year of light. This I embossed with the white embossing powder. These gems are part of the Aurora suite. They are the frosted iridescent dots. So they have a little bit of all of those colors that are in that designer paper. So I just added a couple of those. And the star was an old embellishment I found. The adhesive back star trinkets. Do you guys remember these? These were so popular, either last year or the year before. So I just put one of those in there. And then the last one was this one. So this is even darker with the trees, and I used the blues. So it's a little bit darker. You could use a lighter piece of that designer paper. And then I embossed Peace on Earth from one of our older stamp sets as well. And again, some of those embellishments in the star. So there's lots of different options of things you can do with this particular suite of products, and just gives it that northern feel. I don't know, some of us that live, you know, more in the northern countries, even across into Europe, I know they see the northern lights there as well. So definitely one of nature's wonders, absolutely. So I hope you'll give that a try. Mix and match and play with this because they're so, so beautiful. And I hope you like those projects. So give me a shout out if you have a favorite, or if you've used this particular bundle or stamp set or dies before, or even just the paper with some other, you know, with some other stamps or dies. Lots you can do with it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you again next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.